Well, the first two round of 16 pairings have been set as both Group A and Group B have concluded. Of course, we'll get to see those matches on Saturday and Sunday, but for now, let's focus on how these four teams confirmed their place in the next round of this 2022 World Cup. I'm Adrian, of course. I say of course, but there's a good chance you're new here, and if so, why don't you subscribe? And we'll get to know each other throughout this tournament. To start, all that Netherlands needed was a point against host Qatar, who were yet to even get a single point themselves. And of course, it came pretty easily for the Netherlands, even though they have underperformed a bit. Not much danger to contend with, and their issues of generating chances from past matches, they didn't completely pepper the goal, just 4 attempts on target, by the way, but a 2-0 win was enough for them. Once again, Cody Gakpo looking like the most dangerous player on the pitch for the Netherlands, and he got his third goal in 3 matches for the Netherlands at this tournament, the first man in their history to do so at the world's biggest tournament as well. Well-taken goal as well from him, as I look forward to seeing Gakpo and Memphis link up going forward, pun intended I guess, for the Netherlands in this tournament. The second was scored by Frenkie de Jong, deserved goal in my opinion based on his performances. I don't know, people are hard on the guy, but for me, he's a ridiculous talent. The way he rode that challenge at the beginning of the attacking move was nice, then tucking away Memphis's rebound, by the way, amazed Memphis didn't score from that opportunity. Berghuis had a goal called back later in the second half, but overall this was a jog for the Netherlands, a predictable jog. 2-0 the final there as they clinched first. While Netherlands needed a point to clinch their place in the round of 16 against the already eliminated Qatar, the real drama was between Ecuador and Senegal, where it was a virtual winner takes all. Well, Ecuador would also go through with just a point. Senegal had 2 early opportunities up against Ecuador, 2 opportunities to open the scoring against a very difficult Ecuadorian side that typically doesn't give too many opportunities to their opponents. The most notable one for Senegal fell to Bouladia, exactly the guy you'd want the ball to fall to in the box, but he dragged it well wide of the goal despite having a clear opportunity. In a must-win game, you cannot afford to miss those chances typically. Plenty of danger came from Senegal attacking down their right flank, where Ndiaye was getting the better of Estupiñán time and time again. Estupiñán is so dangerous going forward for Ecuador, especially when he gets to combine with Estrada, as he was against the Netherlands. So how to dull his threat? Make him defend. But of course, after things had died down a bit in the match and Ecuador got a little more control, an attack down Senegal's left via Ismaïla Sarr led to a penalty. Great movement from Sarr. Hincapié, the young center back, colliding clumsily with Sarr. Absolutely no question surrounding that one, and Sarr hit a stunning penalty into the corner to put Senegal in the driving seat. There's no stopping that penalty. The second half was a bit of a stalemate, with Ecuador not really threatening Senegal from open play, but needing a goal to stay alive. And that set piece was a weird one. Sabali did not step out from the free kick, playing Moises Caicedo onside, and what a mistake. That goal for Caicedo and Ecuador in turn putting them in the driving seat, because remember, all they needed was a draw against Senegal. So with 22 minutes remaining, Senegal had to push for a goal. Not a fun position to be in, as it can leave you exposed at the back as well. But wouldn't you know it, when Senegal needed a hero, they had one in the name of Kalidou Koulibaly, who similarly was left all alone at the back post. Great side-footed finish, cool under pressure, wearing a captain's armband with the number 19 on it for Pape Bouba Diop, who passed away 2 years ago on the day. The man who scored against France in the 2002 World Cup to beat them 1-0. Senegal's coach Aliou Cissé was, of course, their captain back in 2002 for that tournament. So what a story there. And for me, Senegal were absolutely deserving of advancing. Yes, they struggled against the Netherlands in that first match, but they have been incredible beyond that. I feel for Ecuador, as they probably should have beat Netherlands, and then they would be in a very different situation, but I know that they are going to be an even better side in 2026, as they are the 3rd youngest team at the tournament with an average age of just 25.6. I guess Senegal aren't that much older either. Their average age is just 26.3. They're near the bottom as well, as one of the youngest teams. But one of the big things was how people wrote Senegal off without Sadio Mane, as if he was their one and only hope, and the rest of the team are scrubs. Absolutely not the case. You don't win an entire continental tournament by simply having one world-class player. Senegal moving on as they finished in 2nd place, 2 points ahead of Ecuador. Like I said, 2026 will be the focus for Ecuador, and considering that, they really impressed me at this World Cup. Watch out for them in the future. But over in Group B, Iran and England just needed to avoid defeat, and they were through to the next round. For the USA, win and you're through. For Wales, slightly more complicated than that. Wales taking on England. Let's start there. And England were the hostile occupants in Welsh territory throughout that first half. Phil Foden and Rashford got the starts for England, and rightfully so. The fact that Foden didn't really feature until late against the USA was just weird from Southgate. But yes, England were absolutely the better side in this one, constantly in and around the Wales box. All the fellas getting forward for opportunities from set pieces, testing Danny Ward in the Wales goal, but after 45 minutes, to no avail. All it took was a 15-minute break and some orange slices, and suddenly England found the beating of Ward. But it was in a very Wardian style. From a free kick, Rashford just slapped it at Ward's side of the goal, the side that the wall wasn't protecting, and it went in. Poor guy. Sweetly struck by Rashford, of course, take nothing away from how he hit it, but a keeper should never be conceding like that on their side of the goal, in my opinion. And wouldn't you know it, after they scored one, the second came immediately after. Davies with a mistake. Kane takes it beyond his Tottenham teammate and then hits a perfect ball across goal that Foden was waiting to tuck in at the back post. From 0-0 to 2-0 England in just 2 second-half minutes. Conceding twice was all that it took for Wales to wake up, for a moment at least, and test Pickford, as they didn't get 2 goals in 2 minutes, but they did get 2 decent strikes in 2 minutes. Daniel James putting one just wide, and Kiefer Moore having his deflected effort really test Pickford's palming ability. But the humiliation of Danny Ward continued, as Rashford cut inside on the Welsh defenders and slapped it through Danny Ward's legs. I mean, it's not that bad, I guess. You would hope your keeper would be able to stop that strike, no? I mean, I feel like I'm being rude to the fella, but he just does not inspire confidence of any sort. All credit to Rashford for the run and everything in the build-up, but I feel like Ward should have had that as well. That was the final score there. England 3, Wales 0. My goodness, were Wales bad at this World Cup. I overestimated them, that's for sure. And is there much hope for their future, I wonder? They certainly don't have a star of Bale's stature coming through the pipeline, a guy who was so integral to so much of their success over the past 8 years or so. I guess time will tell, right? As for England, as expected, they wrapped up the group in first with that win. USA Iran, and there was a clear dominant side just as they looked good against England. The USA were all over Iran, getting their fullbacks pushed way up the pitch to drive the attack from the back. Plenty of opportunities, plenty of dangerous balls across the box in the first half that Iran scrambled to get rid of, or through their keeper intercepting across, or their defenders frantically clearing it out. Iran were largely pinned down in their own end, only ever getting at the States' backline when they could exploit how high up the American fullbacks were up the pitch. But for one reason or another, whether that be to a loose touch, an errant pass, or a great recovery from one of the 2 American center backs, Iran really failed to trouble Matt Turner in goal. Not a single attempt for Iran in that first half, not one. The States did indeed get their go-ahead goal from Christian Pulisic. Again, the fullback, Serginho Dest, pushing way up the pitch for a diagonal ball in behind the Iranian defenders, and he smartly headed the ball back across goal for Pulisic to run onto and tuck in. Great play from the States, even if it left Pulisic a little sore. I thought that the man hit his jewels on the knee of the keeper at first, but it just seemed to be a dead leg or something like that. The States nearly doubled their lead when Weah got in behind and rolled the ball past the keeper beautifully, but the man was about a shoulder and a half offside. Unlucky for him there. Iran, of course, came into this match more in the second half, as you would hope, with them needing a result, getting further numbers forward and nearly getting a goal in the 64th minute, but the ball rolled past everyone in the box, eventually coming to an Iranian attacker who just couldn't get around it enough and hit it well wide of the goal. Other than that, these two sides were mostly just canceling each other out in that second half. Iran lacking in quality going forward, as Taremi unfortunately was having a bit of a stinker in this one. When he's not playing to his full potential, Iran is always going to struggle in the attack. He does so much for them in that regard, from scoring to setting up his teammates. The States began sitting back as time went on, trying to protect their lead, which is always a risk, as Iran just needed a draw to advance above the United States. And with 9 minutes added on, it was head and hands time for the US supporters. And from an Iran free kick, a diving header went just wide of the post, agonizing for Iran. Taremi also had a chance late, but decided to go down instead of getting genuine contact with the ball with Turner at his mercy. That was a real opportunity for him to take his country through to the round of 16. But ultimately, the USA gets the 1-0 win over Iran to take them through in second place in this group behind England. And that means that the USA and the Netherlands will kick off the round of 16 on Saturday, while England will play Senegal on Sunday. The Netherlands will be a big test for the USA, but they haven't exactly been at their best this tournament either, right? So you never know what will happen. The same goes with England. You never know what you'll get with them. And if Senegal have proven anything, it's that they are an incredibly difficult side to beat, beyond that first match, of course. Okay, my friends, more groups will come to a close tomorrow as Groups C and D will wrap up, meaning we'll have an even better roadmap for the knockout phase of this tournament. We'll have one side filled in, basically, or 50% of it, as I should say. Thanks as always for joining me, guys. I hope to see you again for another World Cup recap video. I'm Adrian. Take care.